It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser. It's Friday morning. Unfortunately, there's no Carolina football game tomorrow. That's kind of a downer, but I think we're going to be just fine anyway. Sounds like we might get a little bit of rain, but I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more than that. But we'll see. Who knows? Still want to be careful. They're saying it's still a dangerous storm, so we're going to go with that. So just please be careful this weekend. But hey, I've got a very special guest, and if you're a licensed agent right now, you're going to be excited about this show. I promise you that. The biggest question I always get, and I get calls probably at least 2, 3, if not 4 times a week, asking me, Frankie, do you know anybody that can come and fix this or fix that and repair this and things of that nature? Because what we run into in real estate a lot of times, buyers will have their home inspection done. They'll find little odds and ends, things that need to be fixed. And we got to get them fixed. And we got a short window to get it fixed because we typically, it has to be completed in time to close. Well, I've got the person now. We've got them. Greg and Larry Dennis is here in studio. Dennis and Son, or Dennis Home Improvement, I think is what it's called. Is that right, Greg?
That's right. Larry Dennis Roofing and Remodeling. Our business name goes by Dennis Home Improvement. Yes, sir. I'm Greg.
And y'all been around for a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am so excited to have you on board with me because you've been part of the Point family for quite a while.
We have. Thanks for having us.
And I just think this is going to be awesome because I'm pretty sure I can keep you stretched out just by myself.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So if you start getting too busy, let me know because you still have to take care of me and my clients.
That's right.
And I'll share when I can.
Absolutely. That's fair enough. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, but y'all, you've been doing, now you're a licensed contractor. You got a builder's license.
Yeah, a builder's license, specialty license, everything for all the, KC, West Columbia, City of Columbia, Forest Acres, so on and so forth. Yes, sir.
Can do it all.
Yes, sir.
Would I be wrong by saying probably the number one thing you do if there is a specialty is roofing?
Roofing is absolutely number one on the list. That's from roof repairs to complete roof jobs from start to finish. Yes, sir, absolutely.
Well, let's start right there.
Okay.
Because, a lot of times, if there's a leak in the roof, buyer's going to want a brand new roof. And I would too. I want everything new if I could get it that way. But how do you know when it's better, if I can use that word, to just try to repair the leak or instead of just replacing the whole roof, just repair it?
Well, Frankie, I think a lot to do with it is going to determine finding out, asking questions from the existing homeowner. How old is that roof? All roofs, depending on age, they're either going to be brittle or they're going to be perfect for. Can we fidget with them? Can we loosen them up to make repairs? Every roof, every house is going to be different. In a perfect world, everybody wants to repair your roof to save that money. But some shingles last longer than others, and it's just the nature of the beast with this Carolina weather. It's just an animal to roofing.
Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, and not that I'm pretending to, but it's my understanding just the heat will cause damage.
It will, and a lot of houses that were built here in Columbia, in the 50s, 40s, even in the 60s, didn't even have proper ventilation, and that's a whole nother animal in itself. But if we don't have soffit vents and vent ridges and stuff like that, shingles don't breathe, roofs don't breathe, they're gonna crack, split, deteriorate quicker. It happens.
Man, and so, when you own a house, that should be an investment.
Absolutely.
But the only way you're going to it's going to continue to appreciate, which is what I would think most people would prefer. You got to maintain it. And a lot of times, preventive maintenance, in fact, I say this all the time, but preventive maintenance is a lot cheaper than corrective maintenance.
Absolutely, it is. Yes, sir.
But so often we neglect that. We just, as long as it might be making noise or doing something, but it's not causing a problem yet, so we're just going to let it go.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a lot. I guess we just don't want to admit maybe we got a problem, we got to spend some money.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot cheaper, I think, to try to fix it before it actually gets bad. Am I right by saying that?
I agree. I think having somebody come check your roof, licensed roofer at least, it doesn't necessarily have to have a builder's license, but just a well-known contractor in the town that has been in business for a while, get them to look at your roof. I think it's important to keep your roof cleaned off. Debris in your valleys is the number one problem, especially with this potential rain that might be coming in. Have a lot of debris build up in certain areas. It's going to cause problems. Keeping your gutters clean, stuff like that. And at least maybe have somebody, if you don't have somebody look at your roof at least once a year, at least maybe once every 2 to 3 years, kind of walk it over. Because, we all want to put on a perfect roof as a roofing contractor, but, things do happen with your decking. Things pop up, they arise. It's just the nature of the beast. The house is a breathing, living entity. Things happen.
If a home inspector, or at least most of them anyway, if there's tree limbs hanging over or certainly touching the roof, they'll write that up. What is that a problem? Because most people, they kind of like the shade.
Shade's always a good thing, especially in the roofing world and definitely for homeowners. I mean, we all love shade, but I recommend definitely if you've got limbs that are close to your house or at least touching, I think they need to be cut back because tree scrub is the number one problem. I see a lot of that with the real estate market. I've had calls in the past. A gable end or a eave might have some tree scrub. We got the inspector made a note of some damaged shingles and definitely a problem. I keep that stuff away from your house. Absolutely.
Yeah, and another issue kind of going alongside that is, when you got limbs that close, especially to the gable, that's where you can get squirrels and stuff like that will crawl up in, and now they're in your attic and causing all kind of havoc.
Yeah, squirrels. I went to a job. I've done 2 jobs this week, looked at them, and done some small repairs. Squirrels love some trees, and they love some roofing. They love scratching and getting into some stuff, and it's just not a good thing. So keep the tree limbs cut back if you can. That's good advice, Frankie.
Well, yeah. And you're probably going to have to, again, because when that home inspector writes it up, the buyer's going to say, yep, well, that whole tree's got to go. No, we're just going to trim it up and do the things we need to do.
Agreed.
We've got about 30 seconds or so before we got to take a break. But, this show's always about you, the listener. If there's anything we can help you with, if you have any questions about something going on with your house, we've got Dennis Home Improvement in studio, both Greg and Larry. We're going to hear from Larry a little bit in this next segment because that's where the brilliance is, I'm sure. But, look, if you got any questions, any comments, you can give us a call. The number 799-8255. Again, 803-799-8255. Be right back with more Success in Real Estate. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser here. And in studio with me, we've got Dennis Home Improvement. We've got Greg Dennis and Larry Dennis is here talking about just stuff about maintaining your home. Really is the big thing we want to sort of deal with today. But I know real estate agents, Greg, agents cannot find contractors to come out and do a lot of the work that needs to be done. And I think, well, I don't just think, I know, because a lot of it is just small. And I know you think, well, it's just not worth my while to come out. But at the end of the day, according to the contract, we have to have a licensed contractor come out. So even though it might be a little $5 repair deal, if you got to charge $100 to come out, then that's what you got to charge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nature of the beast. It is, it's the real estate people need it done in a certain amount of time. And give us a call. We'll try to. All we can do is put together an estimate for you and see if we can't make something happen. It started somewhere. So we're open to at least looking and evaluating and see if we can't meet everybody's needs.
Well, how much do you do? For example, do you do electrical work at all?
No, sir. So we're strictly into roofing, windows, hardy plank siding. Yes, outside stuff.
No plumbing.
No, sir. No plumbing. No electrical. Even though I hold that builder's license, I'm sure that we could help maybe direct some people or some real estate people to some different vendors if we needed to. But as Dennis Home Improvement stands, we're outside guys.
Right. No, and that's fine. Well, there might be some inside stuff you could do, right?
Depends on the situation. I'd have to see.
Well, let me ask you this: what about when we find a lot of termite damage? Are y'all? Do you do a lot of that kind of work?
We can, yes. We've dabbled. For instance, recently we just refurbed a whole masonite house up in Chapin, tore it all apart, the old masonite, and it had extensive termite damage around a chimney and a window. And it was just one of these unforeseen things. So, yes, sir, we had to go in there and cut the seals out, the walls out, new PVC window, and it went together, well. But, yeah, that just kind of comes with the territory. But, yes, absolutely.
That's always a biggie.
Yes.
That's for sure. Window replacement?
Absolutely. Vinyl replacement windows. Yes, that's...
What? And I know this is a question that's hard to answer, but just typically, an average window, what does that cost just to replace the window?
Depending, obviously, the more windows you replace, the better you are going to be on pricing. But if we did a whole job, average 15 to 20 windows on the house, we're anywhere from $400 to $450 a window, depending on up. Now you get some of these windows that have the half moons and your bigger picture windows. Obviously, those are going to be priced differently. But your average standard windows, I'd say $450 is going to be a good number. And that's to take the old window out, put a new window in, clean up, adjust the window, and wrap the outside with aluminum as needed.
See, Kevin's got those half moons and all the expensive shapes and stuff.
So his price is going to be up.
Oh, yeah. It'd be at least $1,200 a window.
I like it.
At his house.
Kevin, give me a call.
In my house, just perfectly square or rectangular windows.
Yes.
That's all we got.
I understand. I'd say $450 is a good number. And like I say, to come out and replace one window, I can't promise that number is going to stand. Every house, every customer is going to be a different need. So, but bulk package, we're looking at that mid 400 range all day long.
All right. Well, let me throw this one at you. And I hope I can describe it so you know what I'm talking about. But this is actually a situation I've got in my house, and I've seen it a lot in other similar houses, when you're buying and selling. But in my living area, it's like a cathedral ceiling,
okay.
But there's glass over the top. So basically, the roof is overlapping each other with glass connecting the two. So it's windows. When the sun sets in the evening, it is beaming right through that glass. So it might be like cold in the back of the house, and it is just really warm right there in the living area. I would like to take, because it's just glass right now. It's just a thin sheet of glass is all I could tell it is. I'd like to take those out and replace them with some kind of insulated window, maybe even tinted windows.
Yes.
Cut down on that.
Absolutely. So you could use a Simonton window, and those have a pro. You could upgrade them with a low E package. Most all replacement windows come standard. Everything is a double insulated glass with low E. You can upgrade that window to, it's called a Pro Solar Shade. So it has tint in it, and it has an upgraded low E package. So there are definitely things that can help. It just depends on everybody's budget.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cheap one.
Cheap, but hey, I've got a budget for all.
Well, I tell you what, that's something maybe next week I'd
Sure.
like for you to come out and look at.
I'd love to come out and talk about it with you.
Because you see that kind of stuff in a lot of houses, and now some of this got a lot to do with their heating and air, their system, and the way the ducts structured and stuff. But you'll have certain rooms in a house. It's just like they cannot keep it cool.
Windows are a big factor in heating and cooling. I've had several people where we've replaced windows in the past, and they've immediately sent me an email or a text message or even a phone call and say, "Hey, Greg, what a great investment on these windows." I can tell immediate difference in just in heating and cooling by if you stand by the window. Hey, I don't feel that draft anymore.
Yeah.
That sun's not beating down in that living room. So windows definitely are. They're great. Good investment.
And it comes, well, that heat, it'll come right through the glass. I mean, it'll heat a room up very quickly.
Especially with the old school single pane, just glass. It's no good.
Do you do any commercial work at all?
No, sir, we don't. Stick to residential.
Is there really a big difference between the two?
I don't think there is. I think it's just more of just one of those things you don't want to get involved with. We like to stick with our specialty.
I don't blame
the residential market.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's me. Because in real estate I could do commercial or residential, but I'm with you. I don't get into commercial. It's just a whole other animal.
It is a different animal. You're dealing with particularly having higher insurance premiums, and that's a whole other topic for another show.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, I'm sure you're insured, bonded.
Absolutely, got everything we need to work on your house and be sure that we're covered. And matter of fact, when we send all of our estimates, whether it's just a simple, $150 repair to windows and siding, so you're getting a certificate of our liability and workers' comp.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And again, I'm just still sort of feeling you out here to see what all what all you can do or want to do. But
Sure.
Do you do decks, build decks, or repair decks?
We do not so much repair. Depending on the repair, it kind of falls back under that category of the whole roof thing. How old is that deck? What does the frame look like? What are we working with here? Is it more feasible just to replace the thing? We don't build decks every day. Can we? Have we? Absolutely, yes.
Fencing? You do wood fences?
Not an everyday thing, but yes, sir, we've done it. We will. I mean, we have, my dad, Larry, here has built up this enormous clientele base over the past 45, 50 years here in Columbia. And he has people, we're doing second and third generation repeat jobs. And so, we try to help all customers out. And I'm not saying we can help everybody, but, if somebody calls and asks, we at least follow up and give the courtesy to say, hey, we'll throw the bid in on that, and if we can help you, we will.
Well, when you've done the fences, it's the gates that's always the problem.
Absolutely, they always are.
Because they look good when you first put them up, and then they start leaning or falling or sort of, you can't close them, they jam together, and you almost need a metal frame.
Yes, so they sell those kits at Home Depot, Lowe's, and we try to use those. And I think spacing, width, you don't want to go with something super wide. But there again, I don't want to sound like I'm a fence expert. I've only done what we have done, and it's worked out well.
Well, so you can do a lot of different things.
Absolutely. I have some great employees, and, I stay on top of making sure that gets conducted, and communicating with the homeowner to their needs is real important as well.
The last time, not the last time, but, I have a client that, this was probably last year, I think it was. But anyway, we had to replace the roof, and we closed. And the buyer's agent calls me back not too long after closing, expecting my sellers to pay for several, according to him, flat tires, because there was nails left all in the yard, the driveway, and I guess you're going to have nails pop up and fly away while you're replacing a roof.
Yeah, absolutely. Things like that have happened in the past. Look, it's a no-brainer. You're not going to get every nail out of the yard. Everybody in the contracting world, especially roofing, we're using tarps, we're covering shrubbery, and we're doing this, and we're doing everything we can to help keep those nails consolidated and put them in the trash where they belong. But we personally, we don't have many problems with the nail issues, but you're going to have some nails left over in your shrubs. You can't get them all, but we're sticklers on keeping the driveways clean and in the main areas where the traffic is. Absolutely.
You have a magnet? Is that
we
how
do.
you
We
pick
have,
them up?
yes, sir, a magnet on wheels, and we have a T-magnet. It's about 12 inches wide on a handle. You kind of swing it back and forth, and you go poke around in the bushes and along the edges. And yes, sir.
And I assume you sweep the roof with the magnet too, or
when we tear it off, the tear off process is a little bit different. You're installing tarps around the property or wherever you're tearing off for that day, and you're picking up the heavy debris, throwing it in the truck. The rest of it's kind of blown down off the roof onto these tarps, and then we're cleaning up daily. So no magneting on the roof unless we're doing a repair. It just depends. That's maybe one extra tool that we don't want to have to keep up with. Those things are expensive. So,
well, what I'd like, if you could sort of push that microphone over to the boss man over here just a second, where we're actually talking to boss man Larry. Larry, you've been doing this a long time, haven't you, buddy?
I have since about 1965.
And then you turned it over to little boss.
To Greg, yeah. He really knows what's going on.
1965.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That ought to tell you I'm getting pretty old, huh?
That's when you started this business?
No, I actually started it in 1970, but I worked with my uncles.
Okay.
And doing school and high school.
Yeah. Well, I was just barely born in 65.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, well.
So you've been doing it a while. So, but we're coming up on a break. But I got a couple questions I'd love to ask you.
Okay.
Really, a lot of things to do with how we used to do things, how things are done now. Some specific questions, and we'll see how that goes. But again, if you have any questions at all, maybe you've got some issues around the house, not sure what to do or how to deal with it, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. We got the experts in studio, Dennis Home Improvement. Give us a call, 803-799-8255. Be right back with Success in Real Estate. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I suspect most people are still trying to prepare for what might be coming with the hurricane. There's so much uncertainty about this thing. That's for sure. But, it doesn't take a whole lot of wind to cause some problems with your roof, especially if your roof is getting a little age anyway, I would think. But we have the solution for you right here in studio. We've got Dennis Home Improvement. Larry Dennis and Greg Dennis are both here in studio. And, Larry, now you said you've been doing this for a long time now.
A real long time.
In the 60s. Yeah. Good grief. Yep, that's getting old there. I'm talking, not you, but the work is what I'm referring to.
Yes, that's right.
There's no way to dig out of that hole, so I just move on.
That's all right.
All right. I'm looking at your website. It's an awesome website here. What's your website name? Is it Dennis Home Improvements?
That's right. It's Dennis Home Improvements.
www.dennishomeimprovements.sc.com. And our buddy Larry Jennings created the site for you, I understand.
Larry did. He done a great job.
I could tell because it's an awesome looking website, and he did mine. I love my website. I mean, I love it. The things you can do on there, things you can search and find out, that's incredible. I also see on here you do some siding too.
We do siding.
Like vinyl siding?
Vinyl siding, hardy plank siding, wood siding.
Well, because you've got a lot of experience in this stuff. Is there an advantage to one type of siding over another, other than just looks, cost? Is there, because to me it's about the insulation, the easier maintenance. Is there one that you would recommend over another?
Well, vinyl is cheaper to install.
Okay.
But so many people today are going with hardy siding and other type products. It's more expensive to install it, but it's a much better product and it lasts longer.
Longer than vinyl siding?
Vinyl siding, after 10 years, especially if you power wash that stuff, it starts to fade, takes the color away. Wind blows it off easy. It comes apart a lot at the joints. So
So if you power or pressure wash the hardy plank, is that what you were talking about earlier? Does that cause problems too?
Not at all. It's got a watertight product.
And it's a better insulation.
Very much so. Because a lot of people, especially if a house has got old masonite siding on it or old cedar siding, they want you to try to maybe put an insulation, a fan fold type insulation on the wall and cover over that stuff. Well, maybe in 3 to 5 years, you got termites getting behind that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've seen jobs where people have called. We would go out and the siding here and there was coming loose, tear it apart. You got termites in the studs.
Yeah. And you see that a lot where vinyl siding, it'll disconnect and start flapping around. And people, if you let that go, I assume you're getting water all up behind here and can cause a lot of trouble, a lot of problems.
Definitely.
And then you got to tear the whole side off the house.
You very well could have.
To fix it.
And J-channel, like when you're going up against a wall or around a chimney or something, those things over the years are bad about leaking. Anything where a wall is or a chimney, that's almost a leak waiting to happen with vinyl.
Well, so how long? So you're saying vinyl is probably good for? Well, it'll last more than 10 years.
Oh yeah,
but it'll start fading and stuff like that. You're saying?
Yes, sir. 20 years, it's faded out.
Yeah, I can. Well, that's why I've got white vinyl. It's hard to fade a white.
It is, ain't it?
It looks just as good today as it did when I put it up there.
I hear you.
As far as I can tell.
That's right.
But you're right. To pressure, because you're going to get mildew and stuff on the siding, no matter what type of siding, with brick, you name it.
That's true.
Is there any type of siding you would say is not a good idea to try to pressure wash?
Maybe some of that old cedar siding, because a lot of it times it's got knots in it. The knots have already come out. You're looking straight at the wall, because back in the day, they didn't sheet wall with plywood or OSB sheeting. They just put that stuff to the studs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they didn't put any kind of felt paper or anything up there.
It's like a foam type side, it looks like.
Back in the day, they didn't even do that.
Really?
That's right. They just stuck it to the wall. Well, we tear a lot of that stuff off just like that.
So when you have these knots or open knots now, what do you fill it with something, or what do you recommend there?
Well, you can. I mean, they make products for that.
Seems like you would need to put something, because you don't want water getting back up behind there, I wouldn't think.
No, sir. If somebody wants to leave cedar siding on, basically try to repair what they got and fill up them holes. They make a silicone type, urethane type product for that. And then you can go in there and prep it and paint it if that's what they want to do. Stain it with a cedar type paint.
Yeah. Because if a buyer sees it, they're going to think, well, we need all new siding. All the way around the house, there's a knot that's popped out or popped loose. And
problem with cedar siding after about 20, 25 years, though, it's pretty much done.
Well, it's anything you have requires maintenance.
That's true.
And then at some point, you're going to likely have to replace it, update it, if you will. In fact, do y'all do any of that, like kitchen updates or bathrooms?
No, sir, we don't do kitchens and bathrooms.
Just pretty much wood and nails.
Yep, that's it.
And if we can fix it with wood and nails, we're all over it then.
We fix doors, stuff like that.
Okay, well, good. All right, well, if I can pull Greg back into this a little bit. Now, see, that was the way we did it back in the day. Just what Dad was talking about. But, when you put up that siding, the vinyl siding now, do you go back, do you actually put in another wall? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, so the way my dad explains it is a lot of these calls we're getting, or even these jobs that we're doing, the homes were built back in the early 70s, early 80s. They're built just with a half-inch blackboard or a foam board insulation, and they're nailing this stuff up to the studs, and that's why you see a lot of this vinyl separating, blowing off the walls. It was just a quick, easy build it to code for what the code was back then. And even some of these homes that were built in the past 10 to 15 years, I've seen where we've done repairs on homes where the builder didn't even use any kind of felt or house wrap or nothing. They're just sticking straight vinyl to the wall. And if anything, paper's real crucial behind any kind of whatever you use. I don't care the product. You got to put paper on your wall because if water does get in there, you're going to have that last barrier to at least carry it down to your slab or your foundation. So,
and when you say paper, you're talking like a water resistant,
just
like a felt
paper, a synthetic house wrap. Everything has changed from the old school tar paper as the traditional 70s and 80s roofing. Everything is a synthetic paper nowadays, and it's a breathable product. You get more coverage to the roll. So technology has really changed the dynamics of siding, roofing. There's just it's crazy. It really is.
Well, one of the things I've always kind of really felt bad about for your guys that work for you, this time of year, it is hot.
It is hot.
And the last place I want to be right now is on a roof.
That's right.
That's even hotter than the weather would seem. How do you deal with that?
Hydrating.
It's got to be in good shape.
Good shape, and the roofing, climbing those ladders, climbing those roofs. It'll keep you in shape. But hydration's the key thing. Taking some breaks, and I've never been one to push people really hard.
But I think if you would actually just touch that roof, it might burn you if you're there.
It will. We have cushions, like sofa cushions are good to sit on for your legs and your knees and so on and so forth. There's steps that you can take to help protect your legs and your arms, but it's definitely a hot business, and you got to be acclimated to it. It's not for everybody, that's for sure.
Well, I can see the tendency to want to try to hurry up and get through this, and
hurrying up though causes problems, Frankie.
Yep, that's exactly right. But it's amazing what I see these guys do. But I know we're up against a break, so. And I know we got a caller on the line, and I hope you'll hold tight through the breaks. We certainly want to talk to you. If you have any calls or any questions, rather, give us a call. The number 799-8255. Be right back with Success in Real Estate. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. Again, I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser. Love to help you if you have any real estate needs, if you're thinking about selling your house. And by the way, I've gotten, I guess in the last month, and Kevin, I hadn't even told you this, but I think I've listed like 5 houses in the last 5, just from listeners from our from the show. I am so excited about helping our listeners. I love that. Thank you so much for listening, and the emails I get a lot of emails asking questions about things I've talked about on the show. Really appreciate all that stuff. And if you're looking for my email address or my phone number, you can always go to my website, just frankiegriffin.com. Awesome website, by the way. I'm a little bit prejudiced, but I love the website. You need to check it out if you have not already. A lot of things you can do there. If you're looking for a house, this is the site you need to go look, because you're getting updated to the minute, the status. So if it says it's if it says it's on the market, then it's on the market, more than likely. So, a lot of good stuff on my website. Love for you to go check it out. Again, just frankiegriffin.com. And you'll see all my contact information is right there, and you're more than welcome to contact me about anything I can help you with. All right, well, let's go straight to our phone lines, where I think we've got everybody's favorite attorney, Andy Owen with Owen & McKay Law Firm. How you doing, Mr. Andy?
Frankie, I'm just battening down the hatches, baby, waiting on the flood to come through.
There ain't nothing going to happen to your house. You're in good shape.
I tell you, I'm hoping everybody is taking the right precautions and everything, and hopefully this thing misses everybody here in the state. But I tell you, it sure is giving North Carolina a lot of problems right now. And I hope that those folks recover soon, and our hearts and prayers go out to them.
Yeah.
It's just a mess. Frankie, I just wanted to call in and let you know about the upcoming seminar we've got this week on property disclosure liability. And it's interesting that, the subject I think you guys are talking about roofs today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And, there are a lot of issues with inspections that come up when you're dealing with property disclosure liability and whether or not, disclosures have been properly made. There were some changes to the residential property disclosure form last year that we're going to go over in detail. And, some of those changes help. Some of them continue to haunt us as real estate professionals. And one of the things we want to try to do is come up with some strategies, solutions in dealing with those issues for the real estate professional. We're hosting this at a great house in the Elgin area, listed by Charles Manley with Exit Real Estate Solutions. So we're really excited about having it there, and just want to encourage everybody to come out. We'd love to have it. It's going to be Thursday, and I think it will start up around 11:30. It'll go to about 1. What we usually do is we'll get everybody in there between 11:30 and 12. We'll start the seminar around 12. But look forward to having y'all there, and if you'd like to come, please RSVP so that we know how many folks to plan for. Phone number is 803-744-0824. I appreciate it, Frank. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Y'all stay safe.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate you calling in, buddy.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Take care. Again, that was Andy On with On and McKay Law Firm. And if you can, if you couldn't capture his information, the phone number and stuff, again, if you go to my website, you'll see right there on the home page, there's a list of all my real estate partners. And they do an awesome job. Obviously, Andy On is on there, all his contact information there. But also on the list is Dennis Home Improvement. And if you need any work done, anything fixed, anything repaired that requires wood and nails, I'm just kidding. And there are other things they do. But they'll help you out, that's for sure. Now, in fact, I've got them in studio with me right now. We still have a few more minutes left in the show, so if you got any questions or comments, give us a call. It's 799-8255. 799-8255. Now, Greg, I was just looking on your website, and I did notice about financing. Do you provide financing?
We do with Green Sky, yes, sir. We have a merchant number. We've used it a time or two. We have learned here with technology and the younger generation of people my age or younger that, everybody likes to finance nowadays.
Yeah.
So it is a wave of the future, especially with construction. We have a little bit of experience with it. So, yes, we do.
So there's some options, I guess, is what I'm saying. So if you need something repaired, it'd be better to give you a call and let's see what we can do to.
I think that would be the beginning. Yes, sir, Frankie. Just give us a buzz. We'll set up an appointment. Angela that works at our office. You can send us an email, give us a phone call at 803-799-2555. Talk to Angela or my dad if he happens to be there. You can talk to old boss man Larry and just tell us what your needs are, and we'll set an appointment on our calendar, and either my dad or myself will come out and we'll talk to you, and we'll kind of go from there. And it's just a conversation to start, and let's follow up the best we can.
One of the things we were talking about during the break is something that's really kind of irritating when sellers agree to make certain repairs that have been noted by a home inspector. And then when we go out to re-inspect or check it, we find and I'm not a contractor, so my terminology may not be exactly right. But in my mind, I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's more, they've really just put a Band-Aid over the problem rather than fixing the problem. I know it's going to come back. It's not a permanent fix. Do you see a lot of that kind of work out there?
Yes, sir, we do. So I think the most important thing is that the contractor, whoever it might be, and for every situation is going to be different. It's just like what we were speaking on the break. Sometimes, a piece of damaged, let's say cedar siding or a band board or a corner board might be rotten. And, sometimes you could fix something like that. But, that might be just a Band-Aid. It might be a more in-depth problem. You might have to tear out a whole wall and redo it. Even going back to vinyl siding that you were having the conversation with my dad, you get a 20-year-old vinyl siding, it's going to be cracked, brittle. It's definitely not going to match the color from 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, I think if the contractor and the real estate person and the homeowner can kind of come to terms and come to a mutual agreement that, hey, we got to do it this way and this is the best way, I think that's what needs to be done.
Okay. And at the end of the day, I know the seller's trying to save money.
Sure.
I get as much as they can, because a lot of times the buyers already beat them up over the price. And
that's right.
And now we're just trying to get the deal done. Sure. And I get all that. I really do. But here's something I really did want to get your opinion on. And I understand you may not go under the house doing stuff a whole lot. But, if the house is built on a foundation, has foundation vents around it, I'm seeing more and more where these vents are are closed. In fact, in some cases, actually duct taped. So they don't want any air getting under their house. Is that a problem, or could it be a problem?
I'm not an expert, for the under the house ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
I would think in the wintertime that it would probably, it's like any other vent, you want to keep it closed because of the cold air, but in the summertime leave them open so it's breathing. We got to remember that a house is a breathing, living entity. A house, all of its walls, its perimeters, they're like a set of lungs. I think does have to breathe. So to answer your question, I would think in the hot weather, yes, those things need to be open and breathe in. Maybe in the wintertime, shut them. But the common homeowner is not doing that.
Yep, no, they're not. And because here's where I'm seeing some problems with this, is when they go to do they got to get a clear CL 100 letter, the termite inspection, and they're going to measure moisture under the house. And if it's over, I think around 19%, then they're going to flag it, and that can be an issue. And then when the underwriter sees it, they're not going to, until we can get that moisture level down. They're not going to close. They're not going to fund the transaction. And, if you don't have air circulating under the house, you're going to have some moisture under there.
Absolutely. You will.
And I would think with the floor joists, it's all wood, all underneath there. And I could see where it could start being damaged in some way.
I think airflow is very important to anything.
Yeah.
Your roofing, your soffit, your shingles, under the house. I mean, sweating, condensation are big problems. And if things aren't breathing or structured properly, you're going to definitely have problems.
Well, I know we're under a minute, so I want to make sure everybody knows how to get in touch with you. What's your website again?
All right, so our website is www.DennisHomeImprovements with an S on the end of it, SC.com. www.DennisHomeImprovements, SC.com.
Okay.
We're located off of Beltline Boulevard, and give us a call, 803-799-2555.
And if that's not enough for you, you can go to my website, frankiegriffin.com, look under Real Estate Partners, and you'll see Dennis Home Improvements. They're right there. Awesome people. They do a very good job, and I can't thank you enough for listening into the show today. Hope you have a safe weekend. You've been listening to Success in Real Estate on The Point.